parking plots in Kent, Washington, established in 2017. So this garden is a collaboration between More Relief Seattle and Hillside Church, and it's a special place where community members can gather and start to garden. So the zip code where this garden is located is actually within a food desert, and a food desert is where locals would not have access to healthy organic food. And this garden helps mitigate that or reverse that in helping create a solution to the food desert problem. Welcome to the rain garden. This rain garden is the biggest rain garden on site out of 5 rain gardens. This rain garden looks pretty cool. There's a lot of plants and all sorts of insects all around. But what exactly is a rain garden? So a rain garden, like its name might suggest, is a natural way to hold and filter rainwater. Some of that rainwater will flow into the rain garden, and the rocks over there will catch most of the physical pollution and litter that the rainwater carries. Here at this rain garden alone, we have a wide variety of plants. So for example, check out this really pretty flower. This is called lavender. It smells super good, and you can even check out our friend there, the bumblebee, who really likes lavender. And right behind me we have 3 big cisterns, and the way these cisterns get water is from the roof, and cisterns hold all of that water and allow for the community garden to be watered. And we can tell how much water is in the cisterns by the lever that's over here. So this one right here, that is the lever that I was talking about. So that means that right now the water should be around here in all 3 of these cisterns. Right. So we want to be as sustainable as possible and not use water that we have to buy from elsewhere. And this water that we have from the cistern goes all the way up to that top cistern, and the water from that goes to the community garden. There are about over 20 countries represented here at the community garden. So there are 50 garden beds here, and directly behind me are 6 of the raised garden beds, which are for people with accessibility issues where they can't bend down or properly move the soil or plant plants. And the rest of the 44 are in-ground garden beds for other people. If we keep on walking over here, wow, check it out. It's a little bit hidden, but wow, we found it. So this gardener is from Bhutan, and it seems like one of the things they decided to plant was a lot of tomatoes. And the next stop is the biosoil that's going to be built here at the community garden. And a biosoil is essentially a more linear engineered rain garden with pipes leading underneath. And this hopes to solve the flooding problem that we have here on the hill of Kent. From the community, they have decided to build a food forest.
Hello, my name is Anna, and I'm an Equity and Sustainability intern here at Paradise Parking Plots. And so right now we are at our composting site. So we make all of our compost on site here, so we aren't as reliant on outside sources. Okay, so once we have the raw compost, once all the moisture and the heat starts kicking in, it moves to this bin where it will start decomposing more. And then as the compost keeps decomposing, it moves from bin to bin. Here we have the finished products for the compost. So right now it is really healthy, it is really good for the plants. So after all the compost ends up here, we'll just take it straight out of this bin and then give it to the plants for them to grow really strong and healthy. Here we have our worm compost bin. In this garden there's a couple of them scattered all throughout, and here we basically use the same materials as the compost in these 3 bins, but what happens is once the compost goes in, the worms eat it, and then what they poop out is the compost that we use. So this compost is basically worm poop. Here we have a food digester. This is the last way that we make compost. How this works is that it's really hot in these green cones, so the heat activates the microbes, and the microbes eat up the food scraps, and then what is produced from that is the compost that we use. Here we have these hugelkultur bins, and hugelkultur is a German word which means hill culture. And these bins were here before the entire community garden was built. So these bins were built by World Relief staff. Bins are made up of 5 layers, and so the first layer is wood, which retains all the moisture. The second layer is brown stuff, the third layer is green stuff, the fourth layer is compost, and the fifth layer is soil. And so all of these 5 layers work together so that the bin is its own independent ecosystem.
So that up there is the top cistern, and it gets water from the bottom cistern using a pump. And to turn it on, we use a timer that's universal, which means no matter what language you know, you can always turn it on. And if there's not enough water in that top cistern, we actually use water from the church, and we pay them back when we're able to.